Wait a minute. Didn't we already do this, like, 8 months ago?
Bike's not the same.
What?
Listen, I know we've done a Beamer before, but that one is so
old that this new one is practically a different bike. Really? Yes, so much so that it requires an entire new video. This is the 2016 BMW S1000RR. This new third generation of the German krautrocket was released in 2015, after the first and second generations run from 2009 to 2014. The differences between the 15 and the 16 are... It's like talking about the differences between the 2010 and the 2011 models. This 2011 has 2010 fairings on it, for crying out loud. The big difference, and I mean big difference, is between the 14 and the 15 model years. BMW Motorrad had completely revamped the bike in 2015. The similarities between this bike and the older versions is it's got the same name. So, same displacement inline 4 that it's always been, however, it's now pumping out 199 crank horsepower at 13,500 revs and 83 foot-pounds of torque at 10,500. These numbers are just dumb compared to anything else released in 2016. You want the most horsepower out of the box from the factory? Boom, here you go. This certain model has a straight-piped Austin Racing exhaust, so I can't really say anything about the torque because the 2011 felt quicker at lower RPM, but whatever. Something back pressure LOL. The suspension is advanced. This bitch got dynamic damping control. What that means is that any given moment, the suspension sets itself up for whatever the bike is doing right then. First getting on the bike, I didn't realize it had this feature. So when I sat down on it for the first time...
That's different. That's really stiff, Jesus Christ.
I thought this bike was going to pulverize my gonads. I was pleasantly surprised when we went over some road construction on railroad tracks, and the bike suddenly turned into a nice, comfortable, plush cloud going over everything. Well, you know, as plush as a World Superbike-inspired piece of weaponized German Schnelligkeit can be. Handling is about what you would expect from a bike that's basically pulled from a video game. It's intuitive, it's predictable, it's easy. That's just the nature of the S1000 though. It's so well made that any rider can feel like there's somebody on this thing. It's what happens when you make a sport bike with for real difficulty settings. The bike just lets you be good at riding pretty much. One thing that the owner of this bike and myself noticed is that the two bikes do feel different, and I'm not talking about handling either, just the feel of sitting on the things.
It feels so much smaller. Yeah.
This 2016 S1000 does actually feel like you're on a 1000. Not weight-wise, it's just slightly wider at the seat. The small, narrow 600 feel of the older model isn't there any longer. Now, when it comes to acceleration, holy crap! Advertised 0 to 60 times for the 2016 S1000RR is 2.6 seconds. 0.4 seconds faster than the 2011 time of 3 seconds. One thing that helps out with that is the 2016's onboard launch control. This setting puts the rev limiter at 8,000 RPM, so all you have to worry about is keeping the clutch in check. I'm not going to give a full opinion on this feature because I wasn't about to burn out my buddy's expensive slipper clutch attempting to use it. He showed me firsthand, it's fast. Take my word for it. You're gonna have to because my GoPro died on his helmet while he was using it, so I can't show you. The S1000RR as a whole is just a phenomenal motorcycle. I've already sung enough of its praises in a 7-minute video released months ago. If you've seen that, you know how much I love this bike. I'll say it again, it's the best bike I've ever ridden. The newest iteration of the S1000 just sets the bar even higher. The lighter chassis, the forged rims, the increased power, the aggressive styling, it's all just simply awesome. Now, if I had to choose between the two, complete 100% honest answer, I'd go with the 2011. And not because of the sentimental value that I have for this certain bike, which would take a whole nother video to explain, but because of how raw it feels compared to the new one. The 2016 S1000RR is refined. It feels like years of research and development has been put into crafting the absolute perfect German sport bike. It feels synthetic, like the aerodynamics on a McLaren P1. The 2011 S1000RR feels like BMW said, "Hey, we're gonna do a thing and see what happens." It feels more lively. It feels like it wants to have fun at work instead of being professional every waking second of every day. It's a bike that's just happy to be out riding on a bright summer day and doesn't care whether or not it's going to hit its top speed down a highway. The 2016 is one of the more impressive motorcycles I've had the privilege of riding. The 2011? One of the more fun.
Woo!